What's up, y'all? This is Rom coming back at you with yet another car video. One key factor that separates players from other men. Players now. And I was going to call it pimps and macks and players and stuff, but people get funky. You know, they get caught up in that word instead of looking at the bigger picture of it. And everything, get caught up in semantics. Even with players, people going to get caught up, but it gets y'all attention. And, basically just talking about men who get women on the regular. One key factor, they get them. And it's not that they just get women. It's obvious they get women. Whether you want to, pimps definitely do this. Macks, they can. Players, the smarter ones can. Depends on what level. The higher level players do this. Womanizers, if you want to use Casanovas, cads, whatever. One key factor that separates them from other guys is they can be around a woman and not worried about trying to have sex with her. Hey, I know, huh? See, one thing I've seen, right? Because quite a few times I said something about the importance of having female friends. Just female friends, just platonic friends. Right? Because I said they can bring something to the table other than sex. Just having them in your life and everything. But, always get some guys, they say, nah, I only deal with women for sex. I only deal with women for sex. Knowing they ain't getting them like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, barely meeting women and everything, telling they only deal with them for sex. Ain't trying to be cool with them. Here's the thing. Here's the important thing. The player, or whatever term you want to use, knows he's not really trying to get every single woman. In fact, part of the thing that works for him is women chasing him more. Part of the thing with him is he's not chasing women. Believe it or not. Guys think they are. And maybe some lower level, but the higher levels, or the guys I call Mr. Goodbar, guys who had women throwing it at them, please, they can be in a room full of a bunch of beautiful women and focusing on their buffalo wings. Or they could just do whatever. They can just be cool. In fact, that's actually a part of their game, at least the Goodbar types. That's a big part of their game. Or if you don't like that game, part of the way they're getting women. That's a big part of it. Big part of it is, a very big part of it is they drive the women crazy because they like whatever. They playing it cool. They ain't trying to talk to her. They can go into a club or something and, all the guys trying to get at them. What the heck? Oh, boy, it's always something. They can go in a club or something and all the guys are trying to get at one particular woman, and they literally just sitting in the corner watching the game. Everything. Then the woman looking at him like, okay, what's up with him? What's up with him? And, the guy just sitting there chilling. And, it ain't even really, you can't even really call it a game. It's just how they are. They ain't gonna feel the need to try to get with every single woman or even every single attractive woman. Like, they can be cool. In fact, a lot of times they can get like that very attractive woman because they can be cool with it. They ain't in game mode trying to holler, spit, trying to make her laugh. They'll just be themselves. They'll just be themselves. If the woman don't like it, dudes chill. Because a big part with them too, they ain't worried, since they ain't trying to get with every woman, or they ain't thinking about their rap all the time, or their mouthpiece, their ribs or something. Sometimes they just be sitting back. Wait, man, gotta make sure it's a weird blind spot right here. Anyway, right? That's the key to it. That's the key to it, because look, here's a reality. And if there's a lesson here for anybody, you can't get with every woman. You shouldn't even want to get with every woman. Because my main video this morning was on only dealing with quality women. And to be clear, that's more than just what their physicality look like. It's also about their character. Are they cooperative? Are they feminine? That's what you're looking for. So a woman who some people might say, well, she's just a 6. Yeah, but she feminine, she cool, she supportive, and all of that. See, a player, a true player, he's only going to deal with the women who can bring something to him. Indeed, that's why you might see a player, he might be with that woman. Okay, she ain't no fashion model, or that woman, she might have a little extra weight on her. And, some guys of lesser thought, they'll think, oh, wow, that's what he getting or something. I don't want to know what he talking about. Yeah, but her clink is great. That clink is great. She listening to him. She supporting him and everything. And indeed, yeah, that's one type. But then they'll get with that beautiful woman because they can be cool with her. Let me get into that, because one of the things is a lot of guys want that top beautiful woman. A key way to get them is just to be cool with them. And when I say cool, don't be crazy. Don't be staring. See, a lot of guys get around a beautiful woman, they lose their cool. And they start doing stuff and behaving in a way that goes against any common sense. And they look impressed. See, that's a big part of the player too. He ain't pressed. So you can put him you can put him around some beautiful women, gorgeous women, and he's like, and he ain't tripping too much. But then that intrigues the woman because she's like, oh, what's up with him? But then what that does is get her comfortable. Because, see, if you try to talk to a woman and you coming all hard, or you trying to convince her of stuff, or you obviously spitting game and you ain't doing so in a funny way, because a woman know when you trying to talk to them, or you not being nervous, you just being cool and calm, that does something for the woman. Because what that do is, if you cool and calm, that puts the woman in a calm state. And then even if she got a man, which a lot of them will, or whatever reason, she's just, she might think you're attractive and all of that, but for whatever reason it ain't there, the player is going to be like, okay. Because one thing, and this is knowing players since I was young, one of the main things with them is they are cool. They ain't going to lose sleep if a woman reject them. They don't feel the need to hit on every single woman that they encounter, because they know it's not worth it. 2, it's not even about the rejection piece. It's more like, is she going to bring anything to the table? And when I say bring something to the table, what's she bringing? Sometimes all it is good sex. Sometimes it might be peace. Sometimes it might be just a good friend, somebody to make some money with. That's where the pimps come in. Shoot, pimps don't mess with shoot. In fact, pimps, like a lot of guys want to learn from pimps and everything, and say, yeah, that pimp thinking you getting a woman. Shoot, pimps, they barely touch their workers. She got to work hard, and he'll reward her or something. But then at the same time, shoot, you get some pimps, they can sleep in the bed with her. She can be butt naked, he won't touch her, because they got control over their dicks. And see, that's a big part of it. And I'm going to tell you what, that's another thing that hits the women on a certain level. That's another thing that hits the women on a certain level. They, that guy who ain't really responding to him in such a way, he's playing it cool, or just being cool, they reading it, and all of a sudden he's like, oh, the women be like, oh, he's a challenge. Because women do get turned on if the man of their choice is attracted to them, or show some signs of attraction. They want to feel like the men of their choice has some interest. But if the man of their choice doesn't show any interest and he's just sitting back chilling, and she can tell he's being sincere about it, then her challenge is to win him over. Because what she'll do is, shoot, that's like, if they in a social circle where she gonna see him, she gonna walk back past him. She gonna walk past him. She gonna wear certain clothes, even on jobs. Even though I always recommend don't go for women on jobs. In fact, on jobs, they really got to choose on the jobs. They really got to make the choice on the jobs. You got to kind of let them do some stuff, really, just to protect yourself from sending human resources. And even if they do, document some stuff. document some stuff if they coming for you. But yeah, when they start wearing stuff or trying to get your attention, because, you know, a woman's nature is you'll be chasing them, like guys who think they got chased, you'll be chasing them until she catches you. So their thing is to draw you to them. So they're going to work harder at it. But in order to even get them to do that, you got to be cool. And that's the thing with the players and the Macks. Players, Macks, pimps, like a pimp. Like, okay, use this as an example. Pimping got to be in you, so don't try to be one. It really do. It got to be in you already. But a pimp, he'll go in a room full of women. Okay, like example. Remember when I used to vend at some fashion shows back in the day. Used to vend. We used to have a crew of pimps that go in there and be checking out everything. And they'll just talk to, like, they won't even try to talk to every single woman or spit some game. They'll be just sitting there looking, and see which ones come to them. But they playing it cool though. They playing it cool. They ain't trying to holler at her. In fact, when a man, and this is a lesson for any man, you know, don't think every time you encounter a woman is always about sex. Get that out of your mind. In fact, you just sit back and just maybe, you know, chat with her, have a regular conversation with her, and then you start categorizing her and say, okay, what can she bring me? What can she bring me? What's she bringing to the table? Like, you might talk with a woman and say, you know what, yeah, she fine, but I don't think a relationship would be good, or even sex, even friends with benefits. But I got a business, she got a connection, you know? And then sometimes just to talk with them. And see, that's something else with a player. Like I said, they can just sit around some women and just have fun. It's like they don't have any ulterior motives trying to get it. Because I'm going to tell you something. Here's the thing. Let me be very clear on it. One of the biggest mistakes a lot of guys make, particularly non-select guys, yeah, they want the sex that's normal, but when you chase too much and you come on too hard, you come on too strong, you look pressed. And especially, like that popular video I did, don't try too hard if you handsome. Especially if you think you handsome and stuff, the first thing the woman gonna say, wait, man, why are you trying so hard? You know? He doing all this extra stuff, and, you know, she gonna be like, well, why would I want this dude? Because, see, the thing is, it ain't so much they want a player. It's so much they want some dude who's good at sex. A good dude who's good at sex, he getting sex. If a dude's good at sex and getting sex, he ain't gonna be pressed, because he got a bunch of women. But he always got some women. See, that's a part of it too. So a woman, she look at a guy and he look like he ain't you know, he ain't really pressed. He chill, and she can't put it off as him being gay. She's like, oh, okay, he messing with somebody. That's why you get some women, they'll mess with a guy who married, or a guy who told them he got a girlfriend. Because they thinking, many women thinking, oh, okay, he must be, if he got a girlfriend, he married, shoot, somebody tried him. Some people call that being pre-select and shit. Pre-select. But no, you got to get into it even deeper than that. It's more or less, she sees that, oh, okay, he doing somebody well. In fact, it could be even a situation where she sees you talking to another woman. You know, well, part of that is women are competitive with each other. That's a whole other conversation. But if you getting that attention, got that, especially if the woman's attractive, she say, oh, okay, he must be working with something, right? He must be working with something. So, but that's the one thing. That's why I know, in fact, that's why I know I can tell somebody capping about what they doing with women. That's one of the ways. That's one of the ways I can tell. If I'm in their presence, I can definitely tell. I can watch them around women and everything. I'm like, most of the time, if they acting too pressed, they ain't getting it like that now. They might get something, you know. You get that one woman, you just super persistent and shit. Yeah, but even then, that's the same persistence as, that's the equivalent to many women of unfortunate faced woman who's not in good shape, just going to a man and offering them a blowjob. That's the equivalent. Don't necessarily make you a player. Because one thing about a player, even if you just had that mentality, you ain't trying to deal with a bunch of women, but you just have that, you know, just doing your thing, the woman kind of coming to you. You know, the one thing they have is, hey, I'm just sitting here chilling. You know, I ain't gonna be pressed. I can take it or leave it. And that's another thing too that gets into, that hits a woman psychologically. A lot of women, because remember I just talked earlier about that whole challenge thing. That challenge thing. It do mess with a woman's head if you act like you don't want her stuff. I've known of situations where some dude didn't act like he wanted to get with a woman, and like literally she handed it to him, or saw him with some other woman or something, and she had to give him some. Shoot, that is so common. But even then, I know some guys will probably listen and say, well, how can I get to that point? Well, I'm telling you. I've been telling you. My whole program is telling you how to get to that point. You get women to run you down. And it ain't money, y'all. It ain't money. Don't believe that for a second. Because here's the thing about a man with money. Only women who are going to really go after him are straight up gold diggers. And the starting price for that is really $1 million. You got to have serious money for that to happen. And even then, a smart gold digger, she'll do it in such a way that a man is chasing her. But other than that, money is not going to do it. They ain't going to chase like that. Because one thing, and and the reason why they don't necessarily have to is because of the psychology of men with money, men with tricks, men who want to trick. They handing the women the money, so they don't have to chase. Seriously, that's one major issue with a lot of guys thinking money. They trying to impress the woman right away with money. They handing her the wallet right away. They ain't offering her the wallet. They trying to make her take it. They hitting with the money right away, so they don't even have to do anything for that. But when they want that good D, and that guy's just being kind of chill with it, he ain't acting pressed about it, and usually because he got other women, please, they handing it to him. And that's what the play is. But the key to it, like I was about to get into, he builds himself. I told you. Okay, body game. Now, a lot of people might hear me talk body game and think that's it. I'll say, no, that's the base. That's the base. Because think about it. You start with the body. Get your body in decent shape. What comes next? The clothes you wear, your clothing style. Women go crazy over style. It catches their eye. It might not make sense to you as a man. Even when I've said, I'm famous for saying, I'm actually famous for saying, like, a pair of shoes can get your dick sucked. And some guys can't get it, but they don't understand how women go crazy. Women just go crazy over style. You know what? Don't think about it too hard. Don't try to make it logical or something. If it works, it works. If I'm telling you how to get $1 million, you're gonna gotta sit around and try to think about why. I'm giving you a formula to get it, or a lot of money. You just gonna do it. That's just women. They be looking at the style, like your style, your grooming, everything. So okay, you got your body right, then you dress in a good way. Make sure your grooming on point. You take care of all that basic stuff, right? You draw them to you, and then you got to talk to them. Just be able to have a regular conversation. That's another thing with the players, since they ain't really pressed about the woman. They ain't thinking about the next word, line, what they got to say. They just sit there and talk. Because, it's funny when a lot of guys talk about a mouthpiece and think, really, a lot of guys hear mouthpiece and think it's some magic word or something like that. No, there ain't no magic word for one simple reason. If there was a magic word, everybody would use it and wouldn't have any problems. It's just that simple. Because if somebody had the magic word, yeah, they could sell it at first, but some people will get it and then start telling their friends for free. If there was some magic word, everybody would use it, we would be at peace. There's no magic word because all women are different. All women are different. So you got to have that conversation. Now, that gets into some deeper stuff. It depends on, there's a lot of factors with what you can talk about with that woman. There's a whole lot of factors which you can talk about because it depends on the woman, what she into, all of that. But all it is a conversation, a connection. You can talk with a woman. If you have a good conversation, you don't even have to have sexual innuendo or anything like that. You don't have to. You just get her comfortable, get her laughing, all of that. Shoot, she be the one want to continue that at the motel. She be like, hey, why don't we go home? Hey, why don't come back to my place for some coffee and cake. No, she might say coffee and some pie. Cherry pie. But seriously, sometimes it's just a regular conversation. You don't have to say anything. Because, first of all, if she say come home, or you might be the one to say, hey, come back to my place. You already know what's going to happen. You don't even have to say it. If you're grown folk. But just a regular conversation. That's a major issue right there. A lot of guys really just don't know how just to talk. And it's just a regular thing. It's nothing fancy or anything. Just have a regular conversation. I have some guys, they'll ask me what to say. It's like, okay, have you talked to women before? Okay, have a regular conversation on something. Have a regular conversation. Even if she's into some stuff you ain't into, learn how to ask questions. Whenever a woman mentions something, meet a woman, she mentions something, I haven't dealt with it, I don't know anything about it, I just ask a question. And then when she talk, all you have to do is follow along and then ask questions. And that's actually some game right there, because anybody likes talking about what they know about. I don't care who it is. If they like talking about it, they know about it. Oh, and be sure and once you get her name, to say her name when you're talking. So let's say her name Brandy. Be like, oh, Brandy, so what's up with that? Oh, okay, Brandy. People like hearing their own name. But it's just that simple. And then you continue it. Or if you're going on a date, one thing, if you go on a date, always go where y'all can have a conversation. And it's not necessarily go to eat. Personally, I don't like watching a woman eat. Or if I do, it'll be like something small, nothing major. There got to be something there first. We pretty much had to have sex first. But just go out, just do somewhere I would always suggest do somewhere y'all have to talk. It could be just walking in the park, but it got to be a conversation. And if y'all do go on a date somewhere, do some activity together, still conversation. And then it's boom. But getting to that point, the main things are your appearance and your conversation. Your appearance gets them over there, your conversation hooks them. That's what I was saying yesterday. They got to look at you first and say, okay, he could get it, he couldn't. Then your conversation seals the deal. Oh, and in general, unless you're in a specific political environment or a specific religious thing, like that started out, that's y'all met at some religious event, some spiritual temple, church, whatever, or y'all specifically met at some political rally or something, don't bring up politics and religion first. In fact, keep it light, fun, whatever. Y'all can get into that later, but never at first. But The thing is, you got to be chill. And here's a powerful piece of being chill too. Like, say you meet some woman, okay, she attractive, y'all go out, y'all talk, and the vibe ain't there. At least romantically. There's no romantic vibe. Okay. She might have friends. Sometimes, seriously, that's another reason. There's nothing wrong with having a woman as a friend. I've actually lost count of how many women I've had sex with and got set up by one of their friends, a mutual friend. I've lost count. Seriously. Because I was just chill with it. Because my thing is this. If there's no vibe there, no sexual vibe, the sex will be no good anyway. Don't get mad because of it. Even if she fine. Even if she fine. If the vibe ain't there, it just ain't there. What you do is say, okay, what else can she bring? She might know some people. She might have a friend herself. You know, it might not be, she might be just interested in somebody else. The click ain't there. But if you can be just friends with her, and not in a sense of you trying to get with the type of friend, but like legitimate friends, she'll hook you up. She can hook you up with one of her friends. Because then you already got an opening with the other friend because her friend say, this guy attractive, all of that. And, it just wasn't a click there. But they'll know. Seriously, I've actually lost count of how many women I hooked up with like that. I'm surprised people don't talk about that like they used to. Because it do work. But even then, be cool. Be cool. And even if something don't work out, period, even a friendship, you still be cool. Be like, oh, okay. Look, you have a nice life. Because sometimes women will think about that too. They be like, wait, he was cool? Let me rethink some shit. But that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing some players are. And yeah, I'm going to use the example of a player for one simple reason. Here's an analogy. If you wanted to be a millionaire, who do you want to hear from? Some guys working 9 to 5 like you, or an actual millionaire? Now, you might not like them, and you got some idiots that call rich people a whole bunch of stuff, or, they rich, they evil and shit. Well, money isn't everything, but it's up there with oxygen. Money isn't everything, it's up there with oxygen. But, you try and get rich, hey, you might not like the guy, might not want to hang out with the millionaire, There's some billionaires up there, you might not like them, but they could probably give you some ideas. Same thing with players. If you might not be cool with the player, you might think he's this or that, but he getting women. Figure out what he doing. Don't speculate, ask him. Or just get his perspective. So, anyway, though. Yeah. Anyway, though. That's all I got. But yeah, you can learn a lot. And you don't have to be like trying to run through a bunch of women. In fact, one of the things I do, I tell you some player stuff so you can use it for just that right woman. And you should be focusing on just a quality woman anyway. You don't have to be player. That ain't everybody's life. But you can use it, have those player skills to get that right woman. Because let's be real, one of the player skills is exciting that woman, arousing her sexually, turning her on. So, and their ideal man is a man who's going to be monogamous, but also handle them in the bedroom. So, anyway, though, that's all I have. I'm going to get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.